So you're being her or him, but where the fuck is it? Hi, I'm Paige. This is Paige Talks Reality. Welcome. If you haven't, you can subscribe. It's free. We can be friends. You can like the video. You can share the video. We're talking about when you've been changed eternally, but your manifestation isn't showing up in the 3D. And what do you do? So there's this really weird stage in manifestation that I don't think people talk about enough. You've done the work. You're not obsessing like you used to. You're not checking every 5 seconds. You're waking up every morning wondering, is today the day? You feel genuinely different than how you used to feel. And you know you're not the same person who started this journey. And yet, where the fuck is it? Because apparently I'm her. Fantastic. Love that for me. Where is her stuff? Or him. I just say her because I'm a her. And this is where people start assuming that because the outside hasn't caught up yet, the internal change must not be real. But you can feel it's real. You know you're different. You know you're thinking differently. You know you're moving through life differently. So don't let outside tell you who the fuck you are. Because you know who you are. Number one, first, what does being her actually mean? Being her does not mean I wake up every morning feeling like a magical manifestation princess who has absolutely no negative thoughts. Yay! It means your identity has changed, okay? This isn't about positive thinking. This isn't about blowing sparkles and sunshine out your asshole. It's about changing your identity to the version of yourself who you want to be. And maybe you still want to be a bit of an asshole. Right? That's fine. You can still have your shit. Look at how you respond to situations now compared with the old version of you. The old version of you might have chased, begged, checked, spiraled, tried to force movement, looked for signs, needed reassurance, interpreted every moment of silence as a rejection, and change your decision based on what happened out here today. That's the old us. That's how we used to function. And now something happens and you're like, not what I choose, not for me. That is being her. The evidence isn't that you're performing perfectly. It's that your identity has changed and you don't respond the same way you used to things. I have my talking points up here. That's why I look up sometimes. I always mention that in my videos just so people know what I'm doing. I've lost my mouse again. That also happened. If you've been here before, you know this. I lose my mouse. Oh, there she is. There she is. The evidence is that you don't naturally fit inside the old identity anymore. And you know if that's true for you or not. You're the only one who can say whether it's true, whether you're your new self or you're not. Because nobody outside of you can tell you how to do this. Can tell you that you're doing this right or wrong if you're not being honest with yourself. 2, the most confusing part, you can change before your circumstances do. And you have to. Because the whole point of manifestation is becoming the version of yourself who already has the thing before the thing shows up. Not wishing, hoping, pleading, begging that the thing will show up and make you feel better. Because that ain't gonna work. So this is where manifestation can feel completely backwards, especially since we're used to living using the 3D as feedback. Something happens out here, we make a decision about ourselves or about the circumstance, and then we move from there. We ain't doing that shit no more. Internally, you're sitting there thinking, I know something has changed, but externally, same house, same bank account, same relationship status, same person apparently doing whatever the fuck they're doing, same circumstances, and your brain goes, okay, bitch, explain this. Explain it. But your internal identity changing and the physical evidence changing doesn't necessarily feel simultaneous from your perspective. Because, everyone, manifestation is instant, and then people think, well, my shit's not here, I must be doing something wrong. You're not doing anything fucking wrong. Don't let yourself think that. Because if you think you're doing something wrong, guess what? You're doing something wrong, because it's all coming from what you think. So decide you're not doing anything wrong and you're doing everything perfectly, right? And it's uncomfortable because we're accustomed to using the outside world to tell us who we are. I know I already kind of said that. Relationship, that means I'm chosen. Money, that means I'm abundant. Successful business, I'm successful. Manifestation flips that, and I become the first person first. And that means there can be a period where your internal identity and your external circumstances appear contradictory. Because you're like, I'm her, and I feel like I'm her. Where the fuck's my shit? 3, this is where people accidentally get this whole process backwards. You finally become her. Then you look outside and you say, why isn't it here? And because it isn't here yet, you conclude, maybe I'm not her. Now you're letting the old circumstances determine who you are again. Babes, we don't do that. We don't do that. Looking out here and deciding that something must be wrong with me because my reality hasn't caught up yet. No, babes, don't fucking do that. That's looking at your circumstance and deciding it's not working. It's the same. It's the same. So that's the exact opposite of what we're trying to accomplish. You basically said, I'm the version of me who had this, provided reality confirms it by Friday. That doesn't seem right, does it? If you're the version of yourself who has it, you have it. And it don't matter when it comes in. I know it matters to you. But the way you get your shit to come in faster is by standing in conviction of being that version of yourself, no matter what's going on up here. The opposite circumstances showed up. I don't give a fuck. I'm her. That's not for me. Or whatever that is for me, and it had to happen that way to unfold to give me what I want. Period. Because I am her. And I am her now. And you stand in that conviction despite what's going on out here. And that includes when you look out and you say, it's not here yet, I'm doing something wrong, you're taking feedback from the 3D. We don't fucking take feedback from the 3D. No, we don't. So, and like, if you're saying, I'm the version who has this, provided reality confirms it by Friday, that's not an identity. That's a conditional agreement with your circumstances. 4, stop using the manifestation as your report card. Use yourself as your report card. This is huge. People constantly grade themselves based on whether their manifestation has appeared. No text, I must be doing something wrong. No money yet, my beliefs aren't changed enough. I've got more subconscious reprogramming to do. You never had to do any reprogramming. You just had to decide you were the version of yourself who had it, because all versions of you are available to you now. So you don't need to go on this long ass journey to program your subconscious mind, no matter how loud some creators want to yell that at you. You can make the decision to be the new you, continuously make that decision and act from that decision, and your brain will change. You don't have to fucking dive down into all of the drama and strife that you've gone through in your whole life to figure out what's wrong and why you have those beliefs. You know what your beliefs are. Why do we need to find the cause of them? Stupidity and a waste of time. Now, am I saying that you shouldn't try to regulate your nervous system? Absolutely not. I think, so if you're first finding manifestation and you're getting into doing affirmations and those kind of things, because affirmations are helpful, they're new thinking, telling yourself the new story. But if you're doing that while you're in a state of not believing and you're panicking, like, he loves me, he loves me, he loves me, I have all the money in the bank account, I can pay my bills, I can pay my bills, I can pay my bills. You ain't doing anything except panicking. So reason creators will tell you to regulate your nervous system, and not everyone needs to do this, is because you want to get yourself into that calmer state where you feel regulated and calm, and then tell yourself the new story, because you will actually absorb it. Because when we're panicking, we're in like a fight or flight kind of situation, and it is really hard for us to believe and grasp new information. So don't fucking panic, affirm, please. Go feel your feelings, have your cry, get out whatever you need to get out. Once you're calm, once you're regulated, tell yourself your affirmations. You're not fucking anything up, okay? Where was I? No, relationship? Apparently I'm not in the state. Stop. Look at you. How do you think? What do you tolerate now? What do you believe you're worthy of? How quickly do you recover from an unwanted thought? Do you still feel compelled to control everything? Would you make the same choices you made 6 months ago? That is where you look for the evidence of an identity change. Your manifestation isn't a fucking performance review. Everything's coming from you. Do you know you're different? Do you know you're changed? Do you know your thoughts are different? Then you're fucking her, and nothing out here can tell you otherwise. Nothing out here can tell you otherwise. Stand in your fucking conviction. 5. But if I'm her, wouldn't I have it? Eventually, yes. That's the entire fucking point. But the question is usually secretly asking, how long am I allowed to believe something before the 3D proves me right? And that's still asking the 3D for permission. Being her means I know what I choose even when I'm looking at something else. Because if you can only believe you're chosen while someone is actively choosing you, that's not exactly a revolutionary belief. Anyone can believe something with the evidence is sitting in front of them. The work was learning not to let temporary circumstance. I'm like in a weird energy today, all over the place. Probably because I was ranting about a bunch of things earlier and just coming up off that energy. The work is not letting temporary circumstances dictate your identity. My ring light blocks the corner there. It's fine. 6. You're allowed to be annoyed it isn't here. This needs its own section because manifestation people are fucking weird about emotions and it drives me crazy. You can absolutely think, I'm pissed off this hasn't happened yet. That doesn't automatically mean I don't believe it's happening. Those are two fucking completely different statements. I'm dropping a lot of F-bombs in this. Parental advisory, explicit content. Yeah, you could be pissed off. You could be irritated. You could have a day where you're like, yeah, I'm irritated that this ain't fucking here yet. That's fine. Because you're not saying, I'm not her, and I won't have it. You're saying, today, I don't like it. And I don't like that. I don't have it. And it's fucking annoying. Ugh. And while you're feeling annoyed, you can tell yourself, it's fine. I'm going to get what I want. And you will begin to feel less and less annoyed and more in conviction and more confident. I'm telling you from experience. You don't suddenly think the destination ceased to exist because you're fucking sick of being in the car. Like, think about it. You're driving, you're going on vacation, okay? And you're driving to your vacation house, okay? You know you're getting there. You know you're going to have your vacation. But as you're driving, you get stuck in traffic. While you're stuck in traffic, do you decide the vacation house disappeared and you no longer get to go to that destination? No? I didn't think so. This is the same thing. Just because you haven't arrived at it yet doesn't mean it's not there for you. Frustration doesn't automatically equal disbelief. Stop turning every human emotion into a manifestation emergency. Because truthfully, if you tell yourself that I can feel however the fuck I want, and I'm still her and I get my manifestation anyways, you will. Because it all works on what you think. And that is the message that creators who talk about manifestation should be giving to people. It's all from your thinking. It's literally the law of whatever the fuck you think it is. So, what do you think it is? Decide to think the one that's in your favor. 7. Watch the difference between frustration and identity. There is a massive difference between where the fuck is it? I'm tired of waiting. And of course it didn't happen. Nothing works out for me. I'm never chosen. I knew this was impossible. Do you see the fucking difference? I'm fucking irritated this isn't here yet. Which actually, if you are the version of yourself who is her, obviously you'd be irritated that the 3D isn't showing up weird shit yet. I'm not saying irritated all the time, every moment, but you're gonna have moments where you're like, let's fucking go. And that doesn't mean you don't think it's coming. It means you think it should come faster. And there is nothing wrong with that. And you know what you can do in those moments? You can say manifestation is instant, because it is. As soon as you make that choice, the bridge starts forming. It's instant. Just because you haven't seen it here in front of you physically, it's been moving the whole time. Okay? So tell yourself manifestation is instant, because it is. One frustration is about circumstances, the other is returning to the old story about yourself. That's the distinction I care about, not whether you had a shitty Tuesday. It's how so you felt shitty on Tuesday and you said, I'm fucking sick of waiting for this. I know who I am and it should be here now. I don't see a fucking problem with that. You're affirming you know who you are and your shit should be here now. Great. Be irritated. Stand in the conviction with that irritation that you're getting your shit. And that is totally different from, this isn't working, I don't believe this is ever gonna work, I'm an idiot, I knew manifestation wasn't real. Totally fucking different. Same feeling, different thought process. That's why feelings don't matter. It's what you think about the feelings that matter. So, 8. Sometimes being her actually makes the silence more annoying. Like I just said. Ha! Because you're not spending all day fixing yourself anymore. Before, you had a job. Affirm, visualize, check, watch another manifestation video, change technique, check again, panic, affirm harder. Now, you've made your decision. Your self-concept is different. You're not interested in chasing. You're not interested in fixing yourself anymore. You're not interested in affirming for that person. And suddenly you're sitting there like, okay, so what the fuck am I supposed to do? Live. That's the uncomfortable answer. Go be a person, go live your life, go out and be happy, and do the things you want to do. 9, you don't need to keep earning it. In fact, you never had to earn anything at all. You just had to know you were the version of yourself who was always worthy and chosen and deserving of love, because you are, because you're a human being and you deserve to be happy, period. Okay? These whole talk that there was something wrong with you before and you needed to fix all these things about yourself is straight fucking bullshit. It is that you didn't believe that you were worthy of those things. That is the only problem that we need to fix. Okay? There's nothing wrong with you. You're perfect, whole, as you are, as yourself. So you don't need to keep earning it. This is another trap. If it hasn't happened, maybe I need another technique, maybe another affirmation tape. Oh my God. I used to listen to like affirmation sleep tapes years ago. And the thought of doing that makes me want to, I can't say that online. What can I say online that's appropriate? Oh, drag my face across broken glass. I can say that one. The other one was inappropriate. Okay, maybe another meditation. Maybe 10,000 affirmations instead of 5,000 affirmations. Maybe I haven't detached. Maybe I need to visualize harder. At some point, what are you still trying to fix? If your identity genuinely changed, stop digging yourself up every 3 days to make sure the seed is fucking growing. Comes a point where doing more isn't persistence, it's questioning your decision. Did you hear me? There becomes a point where doing more isn't persistence, it's questioning your decision. You heard me, right? 10, ask yourself, what would I do if I wasn't waiting? This is one of my favorite questions for this phase, not what would I do if I had my manifestation, because people turn that into another performance. Ask, what would I be doing today if I wasn't waiting for something to happen? Would you go out for dinner, start a project, clean your house, go outside, watch your stupid show, book a trip, play with the kids, go to bed without checking your phone? It's 2026. No one's going to bed without checking their phone. I'm scrolling on TikTok till I fall asleep. Let's be realistic here. Then go do that. Not because doing it will make your manifestation come faster, because your life is happening right fucking now, so go out and live it. Life is to be enjoyed, and you will have your outcome. So in the meantime, maybe do some things for yourself that you love. I don't know, what do you like to do? I like nails. I like paint nails. I like to go out and swim in the lake. I like to hang out with my daughter and my family. There's a billion things that you could be doing. You don't need friends or a social network or any of this. You can read a book. You can watch a movie. Whatever it is that you enjoy, go and do it. Play video games. I don't care. Something that is for you that you want to do that brings you joy? What did you used to do before you learned about manifestation? Because I think a lot of people get into manifestation and they spend years learning about manifestation, practicing manifestation, and then they get to the other side of all of it where they're finally done doing all that and they're like, what the fuck do I do now? Go back to your hobbies. Because you don't have to fucking watch 10,000 videos and panic affirm and research manifestation and figure out XYZ and how this works and how that works. Just go out and live. Because your manifestation's on its way. So you get to go out and live and be happy and do whatever it is you want in the meantime. Go out and enjoy your life. Because your life is meant to be lived and you were meant to be happy. And you're going to have your outcome. So why sit in your house and worry about it? Because you get what you want when you become the version of yourself who can hold it. When you become your new identity. So yeah, stop putting your life in the waiting room. This is especially important when it comes to SP manifestation. You don't need to become emotionally unavailable to yourself while waiting for somebody else to get their shit better. You can choose somebody, you can love somebody, you can want somebody, believe in the relationship you choose, and still have a fucking life. These things aren't contradictory. Being her doesn't mean sitting beautifully on a couch waiting for the doorbell to ring. She's got shit to do. So go out and do it. Go out and live. Go out and have fun. Go out and meet people. Whatever it is you love to do. Maybe you want to sit in your house and watch TV all day. Do that! And that's the other thing. I see a lot of manifestation creators being like, you need a strict routine. You need this strict routine to keep yourself. I don't want a fucking routine. I want to be happy. And me being happy means I don't have a fucking routine I have to follow in order to get a manifestation. That's all bullshit. And I think it comes from the thought of being structured to keep your brain where it needs to be. But you can literally just choose to be your new version, stand in that conviction, and keep making that decision, and everything else will align. And you can do that without having a routine, without having a fucking set schedule to do XYZ. Oh, make sure you get up and go to the gym in the morning and do all that. If you want to do that, I love that for you. But that is not for everyone. And for someone to go on and hear, oh, well, you need a strict routine in order to manifest, who fucking hates routines, probably wants to blow their brains out. And it's just not true. We are in control of our reality. Whatever we believe to be true is true. Do you believe you need a routine? I fucking don't. So we need to understand, too, that when we're scrolling and we're watching content, we're watching creators, just because they're successful manifester and just because they have the things you want, doesn't mean that you have to do everything they do or listen to everything they had to say. Okay? Because there's a bunch of people on and they're talking from their own experience. Just like me, I'm talking from my own experience. But they're talking from their own experience. So if that's what worked for them, then they think that's what my clients have to do. That's what other people have to do. But you don't. You do not. You don't need a fucking routine. You don't need to have fucking 50 affirmations a day. None of it. You can make a choice. You can make your decision and you can stand in it. That's it. Oh, next page. 12. Man, I got a lot of talking points today. We're going to be here for a while. Hope you have a snack. The biggest sign you've changed may be what you won't do anymore. Sometimes people are looking for fireworks when the evidence is actually, I would never respond the way I used to anymore. Maybe old you would send a paragraph. Current you reads the paragraph you almost sent and thinks absolutely fucking not. So it's so funny, an evolution of this. So I used to send the paragraph. Then I got to a point where it's like, I can't send the paragraph. But I typed the paragraph out and I put it in my notes app. You know what I do now? Nothing. I ain't sending shit. Not because you're playing hard to get. Not because you're trying to manipulate an outcome. Because that behavior just doesn't genuinely make sense from who you are anymore. That's the identity change. Your old coping mechanism starts feeling foreign. And frankly, for me, fucking gross. Like, when I think about how I used to act, I don't know who that girl was, and I don't ever want to be her again. No, I do not. 13. Don't confuse not having it yet with not being her. You hear me? Don't confuse not having it yet with not being her. Those aren't the same statement. One describes the current visible circumstances, and the other describes you. And if you're actively practicing manifestation, your entire job was to stop making these two things anonymous. The 3D can say, no visible yet, without adding, therefore I'm unwanted, therefore I failed, therefore I'm delusional, therefore I need to fix myself. No. The circumstance gets to be a circumstance. It doesn't get to become your identity unless you decide it does. Unless you decide it does. Did you hear me? Not me. Not Joe Blow on TikTok. You. It's your decision, your conviction, your choice. You. Do you know what I just thought of? Not me, not Hermione, you. 14. The final shift is, I'm not changing myself back. This is where I think the whole thing becomes incredibly, what just happened? Technical difficulties, friends. My talking points just disappeared. My screen went black. I tried to move. Okay, hold on. This is where the whole thing becomes incredibly simple. Hope you're having fun today, because we've been a little bit all over the place. You know what you want. You know who you are. You know what you accept. And now the external world hasn't completely reflected that yet. Fine. I'm still not going backwards. I'm not becoming the woman who begs. I'm not becoming the woman who thinks she isn't enough again. And I'm not becoming the woman who abandons herself because someone else hasn't figured their shit out yet. Okay? I'm not becoming the woman who spends every day looking for proof again, not because I'm scared it'll ruin my manifestation, but because I don't fucking live there anymore. I'm just not that girl anymore. And if the manifestation gods, and I've said this before in a video, if the manifestation gods knocked on my door and were like, Paige girl, we give you everything you've ever wanted, all of it, you can have it right now, right in this moment, but you gotta go back to be an old Paige who thought like she thought, I'd say get the fuck off my porch, get the fuck out of here, leave, goodbye, no thank you, closing. So if you're sitting there thinking, I swear to God I'm different, I think differently, I'm responding differently, and I'm living differently, but where the fuck is my manifestation? You don't need to turn that question into a crisis. You can want it here. You can be impatient. You can be annoyed. You can have moments where you're like, Jesus Christ, can we get this fucking show on the road? And still refuse to redefine who you are based on today's circumstances. Because being her was never supposed to mean pretending you already have something physically sitting in front of you when it isn't. Okay? It means I know who I am before the world confirms it. And I'm not changing myself back because the confirmation hasn't arrived yet. That's the fucking work. Okay? So, you're her. You stand in it. And you will have your outcome. Okay? Take care. Bye.